which I see that there are students who do, is when you reach outside of other cultures and you try to learn about other people, namely black people. It's Black History Month, so we're going to talk about black people. If you want to learn about black people, here's what you should not do. Here is the way you do not want to learn about black people. Number one, you never want to learn about black people from what you see on TV, especially BET, because we can't claim those black people. They from another planet, some of them. They were planted by the Illuminati. Another way you do not want to learn about black people is you don't want to talk to your one black friend and ask every question in the history of all Negro kind from that one friend. There is no one person that represents all of black America. There's 36 million of us. And so there's not one elected official that represents us all. I don't care what Al Sharpton tells you. Because, you see, the thing is that if you look at media, you think that every black kid grows up singing, dancing, rapping, acting, blinging, balling, flossing, shining, stunting, or trying to make it rain on somebody. And, I mean, really, it even goes to the top. Even the president and the first lady are on TV singing and dancing every week. And that trips me out. I'm like, is Obama trying to get a record deal? Or, like, what's the deal here? I mean, have you ever, think about this, have you ever seen any politician sing and dance that much? I'm not hating on the president, but damn, come on now. What's the deal? So these media images are not accurate reflections of who we are. We're every bit as diverse as everybody else, and I think most intelligent people understand that, and if you don't understand it, try to understand it a little more. So when you talk about this issue, and you talk about what's going on with hip-hop, and we talk about the fact that something needs to change, it doesn't mean the genre needs to be killed. It doesn't mean that artists need to change who they are, but it does mean that maybe they need to slow their roll and take some accountability for some of the things that they say. Who do you approach? Who do you blame, if you want to call it blaming? I don't like to use that word because it sounds like we're attacking the artist, and I'm not saying that. But who do you reach out to on this? I mean, do you reach out to that 16-year-old artist who's getting his first big break? That's not going to work. You look at Soulja Boy, who's a young artist who was effectively on TV thanking slave masters for bringing him to the United States because without slave masters, and I quote, I would not have all this ice. So he said, big ups to the slave masters. Do you blame the media outlets? Do you look at BET, for example, which I have passionately and I believe accurately referred to them as the new KKK? Do you reach out to BET and challenge them and say, okay, look, we know that everybody likes some of these artists like Lil Wayne and Wiz Khalifa. I don't like to pick on Lil Wayne, but, you know, in China, they say that the fattest pig always gets slaughtered. So basically, maybe that's why I sound like such a hater on Lil Wayne. And I'm just jealous because all the girls like him, and the girls never liked me when I was young. But do you challenge BET and say to them, look, you had your award show this year, and you gave more award nominations to Lil Wayne than any other artist that you had on the docket. So what message are you sending to the community and to the public when you do that? What behavior are you reinforcing? Well, effectively, you're saying to every wannabe artist out here, every executive who's trying to sell records, that, look, if you do what he does, we're going to reward you. Do more, don't just do what he does, do more of it because we like that kind of stuff. And this guy in his last album is talking about killing little babies and old women and raping and murdering women and all these other things that a drug addict might say on a record. And you're not holding him accountable at all. Now, fine, if you want to acknowledge him as a celebrity, absolutely. If you want to say he's a great artist, fine. But do you have to exalt him as the example of what every artist should want to be? And so the analogy with BET and the KKK, it was extreme. I mean, I got some people that didn't like what I had to say, but I said, look, if I could name one thing that would improve Black America the most, and I had a choice between getting rid of the KKK and getting rid of BET, getting rid of BET would take the cake. So, because the fact is this, there's some 12-year-old kid out there right now who has a future that could be anything we want it to be. He's innocent, he's a good kid, he's doing what he's supposed to do, he wants to be somebody in this world. But right now, that kid is putting down his textbook and flipping on the BET Awards. He sees Lil Wayne being honored by the adults around him, and he sees him being rewarded for a certain kind of behavior. He sees that Lil Wayne has money, he doesn't have money. Lil Wayne gets attention, women love Lil Wayne, so why wouldn't he want to emulate that behavior? Why wouldn't he want to attend the church of Lil Wayne? And then, 7, 8 years down the road, when he shot another black man in the head, or he's headed to prison, or he's uneducated, or he's infected many of his hoes with HIV, that blood is on your hands. You are responsible for this. You played a role in creating this person who has now turned himself into a menace to society. Because, you see, the thing about racism that's interesting to me is that racism is actually most effective when the racist has black skin. So racism runs across the board. It comes from black.